Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video tutorial, I am going to show you how to create a custom archive and a custom loop in Elementor Pro. So the first thing that we need to do is go to the WordPress dashboard. Now this is just my demo website, so I don't really have any posts or categories set up on this site. So we're just going to go ahead and make some posts and categories. So first we're going to create some categories. So we'll go to posts and then categories. And then we're going to make one category called pets. And then we'll make another one called travel. So we have two parent categories, one for travel and then one for pets. And then we're going to give travel and pets a couple of subcategories. So for travel, we're going to make two subcategories, one called USA and one called Europe. So we'll say USA, assign it to travel and hit add category. And then we'll make one called Europe and assign it to travel and hit add category. And then we'll do one for pets, one for dogs, and we'll assign that to pets, hit add category, and then one for cats and assign it to pets. So now you can see travel and pets both have two subcategories within. Now what we need to do is create some posts. So we'll go to over here on the left-hand side, we'll click on add post, and we'll give our post a name. We'll say post 1. And then I got some sample text right here. We're just going to paste that in for the content for this particular post. Click post up here and we'll set a featured image. We'll pick a picture of New York City. This will represent travel within the US. And then click publish. And then publish again. Add post. This one will be post 2. Put in our sample text. We'll put a featured image. This one will be a dog, and it'll represent the dog's subcategory. Click publish and publish again. All right, so I'm just going to speed up the video while I repeat the same process for the remaining posts. All right, so now if we go back to the WordPress admin, you can see we have 4 posts set up, and we have a post for each of our 4 subcategories. All right, next thing we'll do is we're going to come up here where it says Elementor and go to the theme builder. All right, now here in the theme builder, what we're going to do is we're going to create an archive page and a loop. So the first thing that we need to do is create a loop. A loop is basically a dynamic template that's going to repeat itself for each of your posts. So if that doesn't make sense, it will in a moment. So we'll click on loop item and then click add new. And then in here, we're going to basically create our loop. Now we can use a template from the library, or we can just X this out, which is what I'm going to do, and we'll just create our own custom loop. Now I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on how to design it. That'll be for a different video. This is just to show you how to create the loop. So I'm not going to be too picky on the design right now. So first thing we're going to do is take a featured image. We'll just drag that on to our canvas. Come up to the plus sign, we'll take a post title and drop that in underneath the image. We'll go back to the plus sign and drag on post info. And then we'll just take out the comments and the time and just leave it with the author's name and the date. And like I said, I'm not going to go into too much design, but I'm just going to change the color and adjust the size a little bit right here. Okay, I'm just going to speed this up a little bit while I make some design changes. All right, so this will be our dynamic template that will be used for each of our posts. So now we'll come up here and click publish. And actually, before we go out of here, one really important thing that we need to do is when a user clicks on this image or on the heading or the post title, we want it to link to our post, to the individual post page. So what we need to do is click here on the image and go to the content tab, go to link, choose custom URL, and instead of putting in a URL, we're going to come over here and click dynamic tags and choose post URL. So this will automatically take the user to the post when they click the image. And we'll do the same thing with the title. Just click on the title, go to the content tab, and then for link, we'll choose dynamic tags and choose post URL. And then we'll hit publish. And really your HTML tags should not be set to H1. It would be better to use like an H2 or an H3 for SEO purposes. But like I said, I'm not going to get into that in this video, but we'll leave it on H3 for now, and then hit publish. All right, so now we have our loop item set up. So we'll come up here to the 3 lines and go back to the theme builder. Now our loop is called loop 2459. We can actually customize this name if we want to. Just click on loop item, go to these 3 dots and rename it, and we can just say custom loop or whatever name you want to call it. So we'll just remember that name, custom loop. Now we'll go over to archive. Here in archive, we're going to create an archive template. Now, if you don't know what an archive template is basically a page that displays all of your posts. So like category pages, tags pages, author pages, basically any page that displays multiple posts is an archive page. So we're going to create that next. So we'll click add new. And then again, we have some templates that we can use. We're just going to X this out and make our own. And then in here, what we're going to do is we're going to search for a widget called the loop grid. So we'll just put in loop, and then we see one pop up right here called loop grid. We'll drag that on, and it's going to say to create a template, or on the left-hand side, choose a template. Since we've already made one, we can just choose a template, type in our name. It's called custom loop, and here it is. So we'll choose that, and now you can see all of our posts right here. Now there's a couple of changes or settings that we need to adjust in here. One thing that I do recommend is using equal height, because in reality on your website, some of your post names or post titles are going to be longer than others, which could make some of these cards appear a little bit longer than others. So by using equal height, it'll keep it equal like it looks here on my screen. I do recommend just keeping equal height on just to make things look clean on your site. And then you can adjust the number of columns that you want for your posts. So you can play around with this. I'll leave it on 3 for now. All right. And then we're going to click publish, and it's going to say, where do you want to display your template? So what we'll do is click add condition, and we're going to say all archives. Just to keep it simple, we'll use all archives, and this will be used, basically your category pages, tag pages, author pages, and so on and so forth. So click save and close. Now, if we go to our site, which is right here. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put our categories right here on the home page, just so we can see a list of all of our categories. So I'm going to make a quick edit to my home page, and we're just going to search for category. There it is, categories. So we'll just drag categories on here, and just to make this easier to see, I'm going to put a container right here. We'll make the color white, and then we'll just drag that on top of there, and we'll say show hierarchy. All right, that looks good, and then click publish. All right, so now if I click on, let's say pets, for example, you can see it's actually showing all of our posts. It's not showing just the posts for pets. If I go to the travel category, same thing, it's showing all of our posts, not just the ones related to travel. So what we need to do is go back to our loop grid for our archive page, click on the pencil icon for the loop grid, go to the content tab, go to query, and where it says source, we're going to change it from posts, and we're going to change it to current query. Okay, and then we'll hit publish. Now, if I go back to our website here, go back to the home page. If I click on pets now, you'll see it's showing just the pets that belong in the pets category. And if I go to travel, it's showing the travel posts for the travel category. And if I click on just cats by itself, we have the one post for cats, and for dogs, same thing. We have the one dog post. And then for Europe, we have the one post that belongs to Europe and the one post that belongs to the USA. So now we have everything set up correctly in our loop grid, and the custom query is working. So now let's say you want to put a title at the top of all these archive pages and maybe a little bit of a description. I'm going to show you how to do that next. So first, we need to go back to the dashboard, and we're going to go to posts, and then categories. So what we need to do is, let's say we go to pets. We're going to click edit here on pets, and there's a box here that says description. So in here, this is where you're going to basically put in a description for this category. This is really good for SEO purposes as well. So you want to take the time to set up a good description. So for demo purposes, I'm just going to make up something. So check out my posts about pets, including dogs and cats. All right, we'll click update, and then we'll go back to the categories page, and you can see that description appears right here. And I'm going to create one for cats. Check out my posts about cats. Okay, I'm just going to speed this up while I put descriptions for all of the categories. Okay, so I've created a little bit of description. I put a little bit of description text for each of the categories, for the main categories and the subcategories. So now that we have our categories, or our description set up for our categories, we'll go back to Elementor and we'll go to Theme Builder. And we'll go to the archive right here on the left-hand side and click edit. Now what we'll do is we're going to drag an archive title at the very top of the grid. So now we have an archive title right here. And then what we'll do is we'll go to the plus sign and we'll drag on a text editor, and we'll put that right below the title. And then what we're going to do is come up here where it says dynamic tags, and we're going to choose archive description, and we're going to hit publish. Now if we go back to our site and click on pets, you can see where it says category pets, and then of course the text that we had right here. Check out my posts about pets, including dogs and cats. So same thing, if I go to the travel one, you can see we got our text showing below it. The only thing that I don't like is how it says category. I don't think it needs to say category here, so we can actually remove that, but otherwise everything else looks really good. So we'll just go ahead and get category removed. So we'll go back to the archive page, click on the title, click right here on top of archive title, and we're going to just toggle this to no, and then click publish. And if we refresh the page, you can see now category is removed and we have just the name of the page. Okay, now one last thing that I'll show you is when you click onto a post, I'm going to show you how to customize the actual post page. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on this part of it. I'll leave that for another video, but I'll show you really quick how you can customize this page. So what we're going to do is go back to the admin, go to Elementor, go to Theme Builder. We'll go to single post right here. We'll click add new, and then we're going to just X out this pop-up up here. And then in here, we're going to just create our individual post page. So I'll drag on, let's say we'll drag on a post title. We'll drag that onto our canvas. And then we can also drag on like post information. I'm not going to go into a whole lot with design on this, but just to give you an example. And then what we'll do is maybe drag another container onto here, and we'll set this container to go horizontal. We'll put another container within that container and duplicate it, and we'll extend this one out, and then we'll put our featured image right here, and then we'll align that to the left, and then we'll drag in post content. We'll put that underneath, and then we'll come up here, we'll search for posts, we'll drag that onto the right, we'll change that to one column, we'll adjust the image position to the left and make the thumbnail just a little smaller. We'll get rid of the description. I think that looks kind of good. We'll turn off the read more, and we'll get rid of the comments. And then we can even take like let's say a heading. Let's use this one right here, and we'll say something like recent posts. And then we'll just give this a little bit of a dark background color, and then we'll change that to white, and change that to white as well. All right, now things aren't perfectly lined up here, but this is just a quick example. So we're going to publish this, add condition, we'll say all singular, save and close, And now if we go back to our site and we click on, let's say, dogs, here's our posts for dogs. So if we click on that, now we see our individual post page for this particular post. So I hope you found this video tutorial helpful. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe for more videos like this.